Alright, we're in there. Let me just... We're gonna get back into the game. There we go. Hi. Hi. So, hi. Again. To everyone watching this on YouTube. Welcome. I appreciate you being here. We're just getting back into some more DDLC. And unlike my previous stream, I can say with confidence that today I'm not gonna be half asleep during it. But I suppose this time I don't need to concentrate as much on getting through combat, I just need to read. Oh well, whatever. So, we're gonna start right where we left off last time. We're gonna go shopping with Natsuki apparently. For Secret Santa. And my guess still being that she has our name and that's why she wants to go shopping with us, just so she can get a rough idea of what we might want. That's just my understanding of it, of course. Not like I would know for sure. But I can't see any other reason why she would ask specifically us to go with her, considering that we've been kind of distant to her. Haven't really been spending too much time with her. Oh well. I know I read this text box last time, but to kick it off I'm gonna reread it. So today is a day I'll be spending with Natsuki of all people. I was pretty surprised when she texted me last night asking if she could go Secret Santa shopping with me. Turns out that her Santa is Sayori, so I guess Natsuki figured I'd be the best person to shop with. Okay, guess I was entirely wrong. I guess it still makes sense for her to go along with me because, you know, childhood friend and stuff like that. So, yeah, I guess it might make sense. In that case, have I also told her that mine is Yuri, or have I just kept it secret? I was hoping to spend the day with Sayori, but I didn't want to see what Natsuki would be like if I rejected her, so... Then again, I suppose Natsuki's blunt nature would help me pick out a decent present for Yuri. There are quite a few people here, but I'm able to spot Natsuki's distinctive pink hair quite easily. She spots me and makes her way over. Ready to go? Ready when you are, lead the way. Also winter outfit. I like the design actually. You know, the more time I spend with Natsuki, the more I kind of regret not hanging out with her sooner. But it's not like I entirely regret being on Yuri's route either, because I really like her too. It's just... I don't know, it's just kind of sad that I've chosen to dedicate myself to one character out entirely. And I will keep doing that. But I will get to her eventually, and it's gonna be nice seeing all her proper free time events. So, seeing as Sayori's your best friend, any ideas what I should get her? Truth be told, not really. I'm not the best when it comes to Christmas presents. Really? You don't know? Nah, sorry. Anyway, let's just look around in a few stores and see what we find. I mean, we're not in any rush, right? I guess. We proceed down the street, keeping our eyes peeled for any suitable shops. All the while, snow softly falls onto our heads, as lots of other Christmas shoppers bustle around. Oh, wait. This one could work? I peer up at the shop entrance. It's a clothes shop. Pretty solid place to start. Although I don't really know what her fashion sense is like. I mean, you could just play it safe and get her a new bow. She's had that red one for as long as I can remember, so she might appreciate a new color. Yeah, but let's have this discussion inside, cause I'm freezing. Sure thing. We make our way to a section selling hair bows. Man, I didn't even know such a demand for bows existed. So many different colors, shapes, designs. What do you think of this one? She holds up a bright pink one. I can't help but feel like the choice was influenced by her own taste rather than what Sayori would like. Wow, how could you tell? It's okay, I guess? She narrows her eyes at me, clearly expecting a more positive response. Oh, Christ. Here, look at this one. It looks like it would really bring out Sayori's eyes, don't you think? I guess it could work. I just need something else, though. At the moment, it's just kind of plain. I almost bring up how the pink bow she just showed me was also plain, but decide against it at the last moment. Something else. Yeah. She takes the bow from my hands and looks it over for a moment. You know, you can get some sort of design on it. You can? She rolls her eyes, of course. Boys. Yes, dummy, you can. Like an embroidery? Oh, that's a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? Because I'm an idiot. She shrugs her shoulders. Beats me? You're her best friend? Oh, what about something from one of her poems? Like, I paused trying to recall any salient phrases from one of Sayori's poems. Was our festival recital really 3 months ago? Happy thoughts? Seems to sum her up nicely. I knew I'd find a use for you eventually. No way. Is this a compliment coming from you I'm detecting? Shut up. I chuckle. Progress is progress. Anyway, now that we have Sayori sorted, what are you gonna get for Yuri? No wait, let me guess. A book? No actually. Huh? Weird. I thought that'd be the obvious choice. Yeah, it is. That's precisely why I want to avoid it, you know. I've never been the greatest when it comes to picking out gifts, but I really want to make a special effort for Yuri. I don't really get why, but whatever, I guess. Anyway, so if you're not gonna get her a book, then what? I think back to the time I've spent with Yuri. Think, Code. Think. Try something outside the box. It's weird to see you trying so hard. I didn't even know you were capable of it. I put an unimpressed face. You know what? I don't even know if I'm capable of trying hard. So it's only natural that others wouldn't expect it. Both me as a person as well as me in the game. It's almost Christmas, Natsuki. Would it really kill you to show some festive niceness? It would? I roll my eyes and mutter under my breath. Typical. Well, if you don't want to get her a book, you're kinda stumped. All she likes are books and tea, so that's it. Eh? A teapot. Man, how did I not think of that? Because you're a... Come on. I know just the shop. Okay, jeez. As we enter the china shop, the visual overload hits like a truck. And once again, we've encountered a new location. I should really stop mentioning this every time, but I'm always impressed by the art. So how can I not mention it? A huge variety of ornaments, ranging in color, design, size, and price. Where do I begin? Whoa. We're gonna be here for a while, aren't we? Sorry, I just want to make sure I get a good present for her. I didn't realize China shops had this much to choose from. It's sweet that you're making this much effort for Yuri. Really? I awkwardly scratch the back of my neck. You think? Anyway, what do you think of this one? I study the teapot she holds in her hands. It's fairly small, but sports an intricate pattern complete with flying doves. artistic to say the least. Not a bad choice actually. How much is it? She lifts up the teapot, allowing me to read the sticker on the bottom. Jeez, do they think we're made of money? Nah, that's too much. It's a shame though, it's really nice. She sets it back on the shelf, I stare at it wistfully as I pass by. What's your budget? I dig through my pockets and pull out my wallet. Mom left me a lot of money the last time I saw her. A time that feels like such a long time ago. At the absolute limit, like 4,000 yen? Natsuki's eyes widen for a moment, but she doesn't say anything. We've been browsing the shop for about 15 minutes. For the most part, it's been fairly quiet. Every so often, we call out to each other trying to get an opinion on a potential choice. Although I'm not used to Natsuki's presence, I'd be lying if I said this wasn't enjoyable. My gaze eventually settles on a tempting-looking dark blue and white teapot. It's not too dissimilar from the first one Natsuki picked out. Both teapots sport an artistic pattern, although this one lacks the dove motif. The darkness of the blue reminds me of Yuri's hair and eyes. It contrasts nicely against the white. Hey Natsuki? Yeah? Come here for a sec. What do you think of this one? She pauses for a moment, studying the object in my hands. Not my kind of color scheme? Not my kind of color scheme, but I guess I can see Yuri liking this. The shape's pretty cool though. I've never seen a spiral shape on a teapot before, let alone on a teapot that actually looks good. I hope to God this isn't too expensive. 3,850 yen. So it's within my budget. Cutting it fine. Yeah, this one will do nicely. Alright, come on, let's pay and get a move on then. Bags in hand, we step out into the mall. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I really think Yuri will enjoy the gift. Oh, so we're in a mall. You know, didn't know that until now. I guess it makes sense, but you know, we didn't get any information of the mall when going into the shop, so that would have, I don't know. I guess it's not important information, but still, I feel like I got cheated out of some information here, even though it wasn't really important. Bags in hand, we step back out into the mall. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I really think Yuri will enjoy the gift. Hey, Code? Yeah? She looks down at the ground. What does Yuri think of me? Huh? Where's this coming from? She idly picks at her coat. Well, Yuri and I sometimes fight. It takes a considerable amount of mental effort to bite back a sarcastic response. And I kinda wish we wouldn't. That argument we had about Christmas presents. Although I do feel like we've been getting better a lot more over the past few months. Don't go around thinking we're best friends or anything. I wasn't going to. Anyway, it feels like we can talk like normal friends would. Most of the time anyway. So sometimes I feel like she's really nervous about saying the wrong thing, and it doesn't help that I don't know her that well. So, there's this barrier between us. I get that, Natsuki. Took me a bit of time to get her to come out of her shell. I'm still working on that, to be honest with you, but I think Yuri is just naturally reclusive, and you're doing fine. She can be kinda mysterious and hard to understand, but I reckon that with enough time, you'll be able to grow a lot closer to her. She nods, but still looks away. The troubled look on her face prompts me to continue. Maybe you just need to hang out more with her, one-on-one. You might be surprised at how much you'd both enjoy it. I don't know if she'd want to. I think it will be fine. She wants to be friends with you too, after all. Besides, like you said, you've been getting along a whole lot better recently. That's gotta count for something. I suppose? I guess that you know her pretty well, so... She looks at the floor, struggling to get her words out. So? I guess I should take your advice, alright? It seemed pretty hard for her to spit that out. I guess she finds it hard to acknowledge others' help. So, thanks for that, I guess? Anytime, Natsuki. I should probably get going, though. Dad doesn't want me home late. With a small wave, she heads off. I also take my leave. Today went better than I thought it would, so I'm in high spirits. We're getting somewhere here. What day is it now? Ah, finally, Christmas Day is upon us. It feels strange being alone in the house on such a day. Normally my parents would wake me up and we'd all head downstairs for breakfast. Okay, so here's the thing. I was hoping it wouldn't happen this soon, and I was hoping I could kinda stretch it out, but let's be honest, we all knew that in-game Christmas Day would come around a whole lot earlier than actual Christmas. So I apologize to all of you who are waiting to see this on Christmas. Well, then again, not like anyone would actually spend their Christmas watching live streams instead of, you know, spending it with family and or friends. Right? So maybe it's better this came around earlier, but it's not even December. It's a little bit too early. Oh well, we're gonna keep going anyway, because wouldn't it be sad if I ended the stream after just 16 minutes? But today isn't a day to lament on how they aren't here. All 4 girls are coming over, and given how much fun I had on Halloween, I am confident today will be just as enjoyable. They won't be over for a while, but I've gotta get a lot of stuff prepared, so let's hop to it. After finishing my morning routine, I find myself standing in front of the sink, idly contemplating what to cook for everyone. Fast food is an option, but that lacks a Christmas touch, so I decide to rifle through the cabinets, hoping that I can throw something tasty together. I'm still nowhere near Yuri's level, but if I keep a level head and focus on what I'm preparing, I should be okay. Yeah, I've got time. Once I decide on a dish, I hunt for the relevant ingredients. Yep, looks like I've got everything. I was kind of worried for the second as the music cut out, like, oh, shit, I'm doomed. I don't have what I need. But no, it turns out the music just conveniently cut out on its own. That's the salmon and seasoning sorted. Bowl, check. Pan, check. Let's give this a whirl. Okay, now to put the plastic wrap on top of this. It's open, come on in. Sorry I'd come out, but I'm in the middle of preparing the dish and it's super fiddly. And Monica's the first one to arrive, I guess. As club president, that makes sense. Also, new Monica outfit. Gotta appreciate the casual clothes. Again, I think it's winter. Her winter clothes as well. What I don't appreciate about Monica being first is that her voice is still the most annoying.
That's okay, Code. That's okay, Code. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, Monica. She sniffs the air.
Smells promising so far.
I chuckle. So far being the operative word there.
I'm sure you'll be fine. What kinds of dishes can you make?
Teriyaki salmon, which is what I made today, along with veggie stir fry, also dumplings. Not together, of course.
Obviously.
Would you mind getting that? She obliges and heads to the front door. 2 pairs of footsteps make their way towards the kitchen. A familiar red bow suddenly appears in the doorway.
Hi guys! Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas to you too, Sayori. And that looks incredibly comfy. Her clothes look incredibly comfy, I have to admit. Well, that's this portion of food sorted. Now to put the salmon and some stir fry into this container so I'm free to concentrate on the next batch of food.
This tastes as good as it smells. I think we'll all be in for a real treat.
I'm glad you think so. Sorry that this isn't particularly Christmassy. So, this is what you're making, huh?
Eh?
Natsuki, when did you get here? I didn't hear the doorbell ring. Someone left it open?
Oops, sorry.
Typical. Much like Monica, Natsuki also pauses to sniff the air. Not bad, not bad. You've got a long way to go until you're on my level, though. We'll see. Well, make sure you don't screw it up. I'll do my best. The doorbell rings and both Sayori and Natsuki slink out of the room to answer it. That must be Yuri. Natsuki, hey. Hey, Memes22. Hi, welcome back to the stream. How have you been? That must be Yuri. And that's everything done. Time to take it out to the living room. Hey, Yuri. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, Code.
You broke your arm. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. What happened? Did you fall somewhere inconvenient, or did something fall on you? What happened? I hope it's okay. I hope it doesn't hurt too badly right now. You fell off your Jesus. I mean, I guess it's a bad season. I guess the roof was kind of slippery, considering it's probably cold out for you as well. Might have... I don't know, did it snow already? Maybe it rained. I'm guessing the roof was probably a bit slippery at the time. I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope it's not hurting too bad. Alright. It's fine? Alright. Thank God. I mean, seriously, it's just... I mean, I know I can't do anything about it. But it's still... I kind of wish I could do something. But it's... You know, can't really help you through the screen. And you break it a lot. Alright, that's just... Well, that I really can't do anything about, if it happens frequently. I suppose you just have to be more cautious, like... I don't know, if it keeps happening a lot, then you really gotta be more cautious. That's all I can say about that, really. But I do hope you get better soon, so, yeah. Alright. Now where was I?
Merry Christmas to you too, Code.
She glances over at the dishes I just carried over to the table.
My, it seems like your cooking skills have improved quite a bit.
I have you to thank for that, although I was tempted to get some takeaway. I'm glad I took a chance and tried to cook a Christmas meal. Either way, thanks for teaching me. I didn't even dream about making this sort of stuff before I met you.
Oh, no, you're just a quick learner, that's all.
If you say so. Anyway, everything's ready, so... Right on cue, the other girls wander over.
Hey everyone, let's set the table together. I'm sure you're all as eager as I am to dig in.
Yep. Uh-huh.
That makes 4 of us.
Well, here's the moment of truth. Dig in, guys. There's plenty to spare, so... there's plenty to spare, too. I wait with slight anticipation as the girls start serving themselves. This is the first time I've made food for multiple people, so I've got absolutely no idea what to expect the reaction to be.
Code?
Yeah? Please don't tell me I messed it up. I swallowed loudly and... She swallows loudly and grins at me.
This is really good! I'm not really big on fish, but this salmon is so tasty. Yeah, she's right, Code. I'm pleasantly surprised. I didn't pick you as a chef when you first joined.
I guess you did alright, yeah. Well, she says that, but she's still practically inhaling her food. Also, did you change clothes? I could have sworn you were in your winter clothes before and now you're in your mini skirt again. You're wearing your skirt when before you were wearing your winter clothes. Did you seriously change clothes in the middle of my house in the middle of winter? Or maybe she was just wearing a jacket and was still wearing her dress underneath it. Could be. But then again, no one else has taken off their thick clothes, so... Natsuki, you're a really special snowflake, aren't you? Oh well. So far, 3 out of 4. But the one I'm most anxious to hear from... Yuri? Her eyes are closed as she's slowly chewing the food. We all turn towards her, and upon her realizing this, she goes bright red and turns away. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
This is excellent. Eating here like this reminds me of past Christmases that I spent with my family.
Yeah, I know how you feel. This is the first Christmas I spent without either of my parents. So I'm really glad that you guys are all here. It'd be really lonely otherwise.
Well, that's what we're here for, Code. I love it when we all meet up after school. We always have so much fun.
Yeah, Halloween was really fun. It was hilarious seeing how much of a chicken Sayori and Code are. Hey. I'm still convinced that I heard footsteps and that creepy voice.
Who knows? Maybe that Shinto spirit is still roaming that classroom, looking for its next unlucky victims. Monica! It's Christmas, not Halloween. Can we not talk about this sort of stuff here? Sorry, Sayori.
Monica turns towards me.
So, Code, when did you learn how to cook? You said Yuri helped you, right?
Yeah, she taught me the basic stuff a few months ago, and the rest of it has just been practiced through trial and error. Given how I was able to pick it up, maybe you should ask her for advice as well, Sayori. If I remember correctly, aren't you still a junk food connoisseur?
Hey, so are you.
Can't deny that, but still.
I'd be happy to teach you how to cook some basic meals, Sayori. Yeah, maybe.
So long as we have a spare fire extinguisher and I'm around, we should be fine.
Hey!
Everyone laughs, well, everyone except Sayori, who sports a petulant looking pout. You know I'm just messing around, Sayori. I reach out and affectionately trousle her hair. After a few more minutes, everyone finishes eating their food. Looks like it's time for the main event. Anyway, guys, now that everyone's eaten, we can move on to the part you've all been waiting for. Who made you a game show host?
I like it. Makes today exciting. You're referring to the presents, I assume?
You bet I am.
Hang on, Code. Hang on, Code. Would you like some help putting the dishes away?
Nah, it's fine. I'll get them later.
Are you sure? It's no bother.
Wait. Did I do it in Monica's voice when it was actually Yuri? No, it was Monica, okay. Before Yuri said it. Positive, come on guys, this should be a lot of fun. After briefly heading upstairs to grab Yuri's present, I speed back downstairs and straight into the living room. It looks like everyone's already here.
Okay, guys, everyone is here, so let's begin. I'm so excited to see what everyone had got to each other.
So, who's going first?
I will.
Sayori pulls out a package and hands it towards Monica.
From our very own vice president. Let's see what you got me.
A smile illuminates her features as she unwraps the present. Inside lies a small-looking diary combined with a stylish-looking pen.
You're always writing stuff down and organizing things, so I thought this would be really useful. Do you like it? Of course I...
No, my voice is already dying. This can't be happening.
Of course I do, Sayori. Thank you. This is really thoughtful.
The two girls share a wide smile as they embrace. Well, we're off to a wholesome start.
I don't know if you knew, but my last plan is pretty much full, so your timing couldn't be any better. Thank you once again. You're welcome. I suppose it's my turn now, so here you are, Natsuki.
She hands a small wrapped box over to the small pink-haired girl. Wait a moment. We already know that Natsuki got Sayori. So that means that we not only do we have Yuri's present, but Yuri has our present. Yuri and I pulled each other. We pulled each other's names. Fate has it out for us, apparently. She hands a small wrap box over to the small pink-haired girl. With a look of anticipation and surprise on her face, Natsuki moves the box to the table. Geez, this is pretty heavy. What is it?
Well, that would be telling, wouldn't it? Open it and find out.
Natsuki hastily obliges, and the look on her face goes from anticipation to shock. For a moment there, she just sits there, staring at the newly unwrapped gift. From what I can tell, it's a mixer, the kind used for baking. This looks super expensive. Her voice has dropped to a whisper.
Don't mention it. You mentioned a while back that your old one broke, so it seemed like something that would be useful.
But this one in particular is like the newest model, so how could you have... I mean, it's really expensive, so...
Like I said, don't worry about it. It wasn't an issue in the slightest. Although, the next time we have a club meeting, I'm expecting a ton of cupcakes.
Monica winks at her. Geez, thank you, Monica? I think this is the softest I've ever heard Natsuki's voice. It should be a piece of cake with this mixer, so I can definitely make loads for everyone.
That's what I want to hear.
Anyway, this is for you, Sayori. She reaches behind her and pulls out a small wrap box. Next to Yuri's, I am looking forward to seeing Sayori's reaction the most. Sayori's eyes light up as she takes the box from Natsuki's hands. Her excitability for receiving presents hasn't changed at all since she was a child.
Ooh! What is it? What is it?
And before Natsuki can even say anything, Sayori pulls off the wrapping paper.
Ooh! A new bow! I love the color! Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you!
No problem. Sayori lurches over and attempts to grab Natsuki for give Natsuki a hug. Although upon contact, the younger girl flinches away, pushing Sayori away from her. You know I don't like hugs, Sayori.
Oh, sorry, I just got a bit carried away.
Anyway, check what's on the bow. Sayori obliges and brings the bow up to eye level.
Oh, there's something written here.
Happy thoughts. Yeah, I remember a couple of times over in the past few months where you seemed kind of down, so I thought I'd use one of the lines in your poem to remind you to smile more. They don't seem right when you act all weird, so I hope this is a good reminder.
Thank you.
She looks around the room.
I didn't mean to make you all worry.
Hey, we all have our days, Sayori. If anything comes up, feel free to talk to us. She nods her head, cradling the bow close to her chest.
Hang on for a second. By the process of elimination, it looks like Yuri and Code got each other.
That's what I've been saying before. Monica looks between Yuri and I with an annoying smirk on her face. Now, I really don't want to say this just in case, but Monica, did you know about this? Did you rig the drawing? Did you rig the drawing so Yuri and I would get each other? Are you actually supportive this time around? Or was it really just by chance?
That turned out to be rather convenient for you two, didn't it? Oh, yes, it appears that we did.
What are the chances? Anyway, here you go, Yuri. With slight anticipation, I give her my present. She extends her hand out and hands me mine, causing us to unwrap our presents at the same time. Is this what I think it is? It's a tea set, complete with a kettle. A very Yuri present for sure.
Yes, it's a tea set. I thought you would like it, especially when we read together. Plus, it comes with a few different types of teas. I thought you could experiment a little.
Yuri, this is really thoughtful, and I love to try out new flavors with you. So yeah, once again, thank you. Yuri looks thoroughly relieved. Looks like she's not used to giving presents to other people. Anyway, what do you think of my gift?
Oh, sorry, I just... My mic code. This is gorgeous. What is it? Looks like a teapot. Really fancy one, mind you.
Yeah, that's precisely what it is. I was going to go with a book at first, but I didn't know which books you already had, so that was a risk I didn't want to take. So I thought, well, let's think outside the box a little, you know? I thought the design of this teapot was really nice and intricate, and it kind of reminded me of you. Okay, that sounded a lot less romantic in my head, and with everyone else listening too. Anyway, I know you like tea, so I thought this would be a safe bet. Just needed to check something. Sorry about that.
That's very thoughtful of you, Code. Not only is the design wonderful, but you clearly had my interests in mind when you bought it.
She's quiet for a moment or two. The other girls look around at each other. No one is quite sure what to say. Well, I'm glad you like it, Yuri. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, Code.
To my surprise, she scoots closer towards me and tentatively wraps her arms around me. The motion surprises me at first, but I quickly lean back into her touch, enveloping my arms around her as well. A pleasant scent of mint and lavender fills my nose, and I'm surprised by the comfortable warmth Yuri's touch radiates. For a moment I'm lost in her embrace. A strong, strangely familiar feeling rests its way out of my heart and courses through my entire body. It makes me forget that there are other people in the room. An awkward throat clearing pulls me away from Yuri. Oh. Monica, come on. Come on, Monica, don't ruin this moment.
So, what's next?
Truth be told, I didn't really plan this far ahead. I thought everyone would want to go home after exchanging presents, but if you guys want to stick around, you're more than welcome to. I've got some board games we could play.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
They better not be boring. How about this? I pull out a box, one illustrated image of a large brain. Sarah immediately brightens up.
Ooh, we haven't played this in a while. Cranium. Given the variety of talent in the room, I reckon that'll be a great pick.
What's this? I've never tried it before.
Me neither.
Since we're on the topic, I've never heard of it either. Don't worry, the basics are pretty simple to pick up. I'm confident you'll pick up everything quickly. Even you, Natsuki. What do you mean?
Anyway, let's start, guys.
Chuckling at the irate look on Natsuki's face, I pull a small table towards me and set the board down along with all the playing cards. Pretty straightforward, guys. See this dice? Roll it and you'll land on a colored square. Whenever you land on a square, you'll have to draw a card and complete the activity written on it. The activities are split by color, so the blue represents drawing or sculpting with this clay, and the green is where you have to perform something.
Perform?
Don't worry, it's nothing too crazy like this one. Take a quick look at the green card. You just have to partner with someone, hum this song, and they've got 60 seconds to guess it. And don't worry, there are some world-based ones, so you're in luck.
Yeah, this board game is super fun, guys. There's something for everyone.
This actually looks kinda cool. Told you. Now let's start. As I was hoping, the game is proving to be a big hit. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, meaning no one has a distinct advantage. It's fairly even so far and everyone's enjoying it. It's currently Yuri's turn and she throws the dice, which lands on the color yellow.
What worm again?
Lucky you, eh? Okay, here's your challenge. I lean forward and take a yellow card from the box. I'm going to give you a word, and you have 40 seconds to spell it.
That should hopefully be enough time.
But there's a catch. You've got to spell it backwards. And on your first try.
Well, this certainly ups the ante, doesn't it?
She takes a deep breath.
Okay, I'm ready. What's my word?
With my hand ready to flip over the small timer, I reach for the word aloud. I read the word. I cannot read. I read the word. Why am I saying that wrong? I read the word aloud. There we go. Pavlovian. Did I say that? Did I even say that right?
Oh, that's hard.
Immediately, Yuri's face adopts a look of intense concentration.
N. A. I.
Yep, keep going.
V.
She looks at the clock, about 10 seconds have already ticked by.
O. L.
Doing well.
V.
More seconds tick by, it sounds like about 30 seconds have gone. It looks like about 30 seconds have gone.
A. P. Yay, that's right! You're so smart, Yuri.
Jeez, not gonna lie, that's not half bad.
You're too kind, I simply had an easy word, that's all.
Monica, shut up, I don't want to hear your voice. I mean, I like you, but please.
Hey, have some pride in yourself, Yuri. You did well.
Anyway, you passed, so you get to roll again.
I just hope I don't get a green.
The look on her face when she indeed lands on a green is priceless.
Oh, hang on. I've got it. Tennis elbow.
Yes? Her eyes fly open right as the timer runs out of sand. Natsuki's blue activity involved her drawing a phrase, but the catch was that she had to do it with her eyes closed. Personally, I was a little dubious over her picking Sayori. Concentrate on reading. Personally, I was a little dubious over her picking Sayori as the teammate who had to guess, but hey, she got there in the end. Alright, fair enough. Interesting wording. Look at that elbow, it looks like a floppy strand of spaghetti. As if you could draw even with your eyes open. Whatever you say, spaghetti arms.
Hey, Natsuki, why don't you roll again?
Ah, Sayori, always tactical at the best moments. Seriously? Red again?
Not much of a fan of the data head questions, eh?
I would be if they were actually answerable. I mean, who would believe that Theodore Roosevelt named his son Kermit? Miss Piggy. Sayori and Monica laugh as Natsuki scoffs. Your New Year's resolution should be to get a better sense of humor. I don't know, it looks like it's working fine so far. I gesture to the two laughing girls. Whatever, just give me my card.
Here you go.
This one is multiple choice at least.
What's it say?
In the legal field, what does perjury mean? Okay, that's simple. Come on. Basically just meaning... Oh my god, how do I explain it? Give me the multiple choices so I can actually get see the different explanations. I should easily be able to answer it, but I can't really explain it that well. But as someone who's played Danganronpa, I know what it means to paint over the truth with lies. Deliberately not turning up to court, deliberately telling a lie under oath, or attempting to bribe a judge or jury. Well, it's definitely the second one, in that case. How the hell am I meant to know this? Well, come on. You can do it, Natsuki. You can do it. Not just Monica, thank you.
Aren't there any enemies out there that involve trials or something?
Well, considering perjury was more of a theme in the games of Danganronpa than the anime, but I guess that's my fault for mainly thinking of Danganronpa when I think of trials. I guess there's also the Phoenix Wright series, but I'm a little bit ashamed to admit it, I've never played that series. So that might be another one I might potentially add to the list of future games to play if people want to see it. Not really sure if people want to see it, I haven't got any recommendations for it yet, so there's that. Anyway, let's keep going here. Why would I want to watch that? That sounds really boring. Danganronpa is not boring. Well, I guess they kind of messed up the anime a little bit. They cut out so much stuff in the first anime, and then when Danganronpa 3 came around, I still think the games were a lot better. Anyway, I don't know.
Well, you've got 10 seconds to make a decision, so just take a guess.
C? She flips the card over. B? Come on, how do you know that? Who'd know that?
I did.
Big surprise that is.
Don't worry, I didn't know either. Tut. You guys really need to brush up on your Latin.
Yeah, because we're really living in the Middle Ages, aren't we? Also, Monica, don't bring up Latin. I hate Latin. I hate it so much. It brings back so many painful memories for me. So don't bring it up again. Grumbling, Natsuki sets the card back at the back of the pack. After a while, the game eventually winds down to a close. It's definitely come down to the wire between Monica and Yuri. Monica's musical abilities have proven to be very useful in the star performer category, where the user had to hum or sing a tune and get the others to guess. Yuri, on the other hand, excelled at the word-based activities. She rarely got one of them wrong. After a tense final round, Yuri eventually pulls through and is declared the winner. Alright. Even though Natsuki, Sayori and I didn't really have much of a chance of winning, it was still enjoyable to play and watch the showdown between Monica and Yuri.
That was close, Monica. It certainly was. Well played, Yuri.
Despite being a loser, Monica accepts her defeat gracefully, sportsmanship at its finest.
I don't know about you guys, but I had a lot of fun. We should definitely play this more often. Yeah, hearing you frantically hum those tunes was really funny.
And you guys all had the honor of seeing my awesome drawings? I stretch and yawn, hearing a satisfying click from my joints as I do so. Time really has flown. Yeah, anytime you guys wanna play, just give me a buzz. This has been a really fun Christmas. There's a general murmur of agreement as we all start clearing up. Thankfully, there aren't too many pieces, so the task is relatively straightforward.
You know, Code, you kind of remind me of Yuri. Huh? What do you mean?
You guys both have really deep you guys both have a really deep look in your eyes when you start focusing on stuff. It looks a bit weird, but it suits you. I do. Monica nods.
I noticed it as well. Don't worry, it's not a bad thing, although it's rather uncanny, seeing such a deep look in someone that isn't Yuri. It's something I've grown to associate with only her.
Oh. Can you hear whenever I do Monica's voice how you can hear my throat get a little bit sore after just a couple of seconds of talking? I apologize for that, by the way. I was able to do her voice a lot better early on. Well, with everyone's attention to me, I'm not really sure how to respond. It's true that I've been spending time with Yuri as of late, so maybe...
Well, I think he looks endearing when he looks like that. I mean...
Well, duh, of course you think that. You two are pretty much together like all the time now? Well, this conversation has taken a fast detour into hot water.
Speaking of which, I'm curious. You two officially going out?
Monica? The intense blush on Yuri's face mirrors my own feelings. Why did Monica have to put us on the spot like that?
I mean, we aren't.
Both our faces are practically on fire. While it's true that we aren't boyfriend and girlfriend, I definitely wouldn't mind if we were.
Don't worry about it. I was just teasing you. Anyway, I think everything is packed away, so I'm going to have to get going. It's late after all. Thank you again for the gifts, Ayori.
Oh! You're welcome, Monica. I should probably get going as well, too. Yeah, same here.
See you all soon.
Bye-bye, guys. Yeah, see ya. They all look curiously at Yuri. Of course she's sticking around. Unless she doesn't want to. I mean, I'd be glad if she sticks around.
Sticking around for a bit, Yuri? Huh? Oh, yes, I wanted a cup of tea, if that's okay.
She looks imploringly at me. Yeah, that's cool. I'll put the board game away, so feel free to make yourself at home in my kitchen. The other three girls depart, leaving an awkward silence between Yuri and I. At least it's cut short by her excusing herself. After carefully checking that everything is in its rightful place, I slot the board game back into its position in the cupboard. Sorry. Hey Yuri, don't worry about that stuff. She'd taken the plates and was in the process of washing them up as I entered the kitchen.
Oh, no, you were kind enough to serve us, so this is the least I can do.
Are you sure? I'm the host, so I shouldn't really be making you do this.
It's really no bother.
Well, if you insist. Still, you've gotta let me help, okay? She nods as I roll up my sleeves and pull out some rubber gloves. We wash the dishes together, slowly inching closer until our shoulders are practically touching. A comfortable silence descends upon us, a silence that I'm surprised Yuri breaks first.
It feels strange spending Christmas with people other than my family.
First time? She nods slowly. Parents not around for Christmas this year.
You could say that, yes.
Yet, god damn it, we are so dense.
My mother would always usually make teriyaki salmon and turkey, and then we'd follow it through with cake. Vanilla or milk chocolate was usually my family's firm favorite.
Oh shoot, I should have gotten dessert. I knew I forgot something, I'm sorry Yuri, it totally slipped my mind. She smiles softly.
Please don't worry about it, Code. The fact that you cooked for me and everyone else today was more than I could have asked for.
Ah well, I'm glad to hear that. I had no idea how the food would turn out, so this is reassuring to hear. Good thing I had a good teacher, eh? I playfully nudge her with my elbow, causing her to blush.
It was nothing.
Her blush remains as we carry on washing the dishes in silence.
Hey, Code?
Yeah?
I don't know how to put this, so I apologize if it sounds out of the blue. But I really enjoy spending time with you.
The soft, vulnerable way she says it catches me off guard. I enjoy spending time with you too, Yuri. The last of the dishes has been cleaned, but we don't move apart. If anything, we grow a little closer. By the way...
Yes?
What exactly are we?
What do you mean?
You know, when we were cleaning up just now with the others, they asked if we were... Well, my god, asking her directly is proving to be exceptionally difficult.
I don't know. I've never felt this way about someone before.
Yeah, me neither. Sorry, I didn't mean to make this so awkward. She laughs softly. At this proximity, I can feel the warm breath on my face. It sends a shiver down my spine, but not the unpleasant kind.
No, you don't need to apologize. It's a valid question. I guess I just don't know how to answer it.
At this point, my heart is positively thumping out of my chest. We can hear it. Oh my god, could this be the moment where we get our first new CG? I've always said this, I'm impressed with all the background art they made for this game, but they have yet to show us any new CGs. And this might be the moment. The atmosphere certainly calls for one, if I had to say so, if I had to say it. Is this really happening with Yuri? I guess we don't need all of the answers now. After all, I like what we have now.
I do too.
We both turn towards each other, causing me to drown in her eyes, those deep pools of violet, so mysterious, so enticing. The scent of lavender and jasmine oil permeates my nose, filling it with a scent as pleasant as the sight in front of me. Tentatively, I find myself reaching out to gently stroke her cheek and brush off a lock of hair out of her face. Yeah, this is it. She closes her eyes briefly and exhales onto my fingers. This just feels so right. Okay, it's happening. Guys, don't panic. It's happening. Don't panic. Stay calm. Everybody stay calm. We come closer and closer to each other as every nerve burns with anticipation. I can almost feel her lips on my... what's the noise? We break apart, the moment all but gone. Who is it?
I forgot my present, sorry.
Irritation floods through my body. Why couldn't you just have been more careful, Sayori? Sayori pops into the kitchen, and judging by the look of surprise on her face, she definitely didn't expect this. For a start, I realize Yuri and I still have our arms around each other, and as I take my arms off her waist, she quickly moves hers from my shoulder. Sayori's expression dims with what looks like sadness. Oh no, her depression is showing its face again. It's replaced in a flash though. Did I just imagine it?
You guys, I found it.
She picked up the bow from the kitchen counter. Why was it there? Why it was there is beyond me.
By the way, Yuri, do you want to walk home with me?
Yuri quickly looks at me. It's almost pleading. The moment is gone though, so I literally nod.
Oh, sure.
After carefully scooping up the teapot, she heads to the hallway. Sayori is already lingering outside.
Sorry.
It's okay, Yuri. It's not your fault. Besides, we can just hang out on New Year's Eve, right?
Yes. I mean, yes, of course. I'd like that.
I can't help but smile to myself. Even though we were on the verge of kissing, she's still self-conscious about how eager she is to spend time with me. We'll make it happen, don't worry. With one last quick hug, she follows Sayori out, leaving me to process what just happened. At least we're at the point where we can hug to say goodbye and stuff. I don't think, maybe we hugged once or twice before. I think only once, maybe. But now, just to say goodbye, a quick embrace, that's definitely progress. Might sound cheesy, but true happiness at Christmas doesn't come from material things, does it? And we still didn't get a new CG. Why? Game, please. Why are you doing this to me? I like your backgrounds, but please show me some CGs in the future. December 31st, the last day of the year. As I push myself up, my gaze floats across my room. It looks exactly the same, save for the tea set on my desk. In a strange way, it's like Yuri's presence is here with me. A strange feeling courses through me as I recall the shy, nervous look on her face as she handed me the gift. A feeling which only grows stronger as I recall the quiet, intimate moment we had with one another after the other girls left. It's definitely not an unpleasant feeling, but it does feel confusing. I feel warm inside, but it's still a foreign sensation. What exactly are Yuri and I? Part of me wants to take Yuri out on a date, but, well, I don't know what to do. Taking her out for coffee or tea seems a bit basic. But she likes tea though, so maybe it's not such a bad idea after all. Having finished my morning routine, I find myself sitting at the kitchen table, idly scrolling through my phone. Maybe some fresh air will help me place my thoughts. That's much better. The air is a little biting, but I'm wrapped up warm, so it feels more like a refreshing coolness. Unfortunately, I left my gloves at home, so my hands are being subjected to the full wrath of the December air. Man, it'd be nice to have Yuri's hands to warm mine. Maybe I should just ask her to be my girlfriend. I mean, despite her being unsure of what we were, it's obvious that she likes me, right? How do you ask, though? Hi Yuri, I like you, and I think you like me too, so do you want to be my girlfriend? Nah, that just sounds cliché. That just sounds childish. Sarah and I used to say that stuff to each other when we were really little. A white bowl coming into my peripheral vision snaps me out of my inner turmoil. Wait, Monica's here? Apparently she is. But why Monica, of all people? She's here to make me suffer. Alright, let's go.
Hey, Code. I didn't expect to see you about. Looks like you've gone for a walk.
Oh, hey Monica, yeah, I was in the mood for some fresh air, so here I am.
Do you have any plans for New Year's?
Kind of. I used to just watch the fireworks on TV with my parents, but they're not around this year. I guess I could just watch them at home. I choose not to divulge the fact that I'm stuck for date ideas, at least not yet. Monica studies me for a moment, her gaze feels like an X-ray, and I feel like she's somehow reading directly into my mind.
Say, Code, would you say that fireworks can be described as romantic?
Yeah, forget Paris or the Eiffel Tower. Exploding gunpowder and pyrotechnics are what come to mind when someone says romance. I mean, your point being? I laugh, but her knowing smirk doesn't move.
If I were interested in someone, I think taking them to see the fireworks for New Year's would be the perfect way to start our relationship.
Where's this coming from?
Come on, Code, you can't be this dense. There's a firework display in town. If you head to the Skytree Tower, you'll be guaranteed an amazing view. They start at 10 and finish at midnight. You do have to book, but it's only like 430 yen. Nice way to start the New Year if you ask me.
She winks at me. Well, I suppose there's no sense hiding it or trying to play naive. You and I were pretty obvious on Christmas Day. And I can't believe it, I finally managed to speak her dialogue without my throat getting hoarse midway through. I can't believe it, I actually pulled it off for once again. Also, she's winking at me, I just noticed. Alright, let's see if I can replicate this again.
Trust me when I say you should take her.
You think?
I know I've seen how you two have acted together over the past few months. And to be honest, it's about time you got together.
Have we really been that obvious? A smile is my only answer, I sigh. Anyway, what about you? What are you up to today? I don't suppose I'll see you under the fireworks tonight. I'll also see you under the fireworks tonight. Maybe with some hotshot tennis player? I nudge her, but to my surprise she doesn't smile. It's only when I properly look at her. It's only when I properly look at her do I see the bags under her eyes. She snorts derisively.
I don't think there's much chance of that happening.
Even her voice is a little drained.
I've been busy.
With what? She hesitates for a moment, looking aside for a moment.
Just my parents' business. It's nothing I can't handle.
Well, just make sure you don't push yourself too hard, okay? I know you are president and all, but everyone needs a break. I feel kinda bad knowing that you're encouraging Yuri and I to spend time together when it looks like you can't even relax yourself. She looks up at me, surprise written over her face.
Thank you, Code. Your concern is appreciated. I'll try and bear that in mind.
She briefly checks her watch.
Is that the time already? I've got to go, unfortunately. Need to pick some stuff up from the shops for my parents. Catch you later, Code.
See ya, Monica, and thanks for the fireworks suggestion. She smiles and waves, leaving me to ponder her current life situation. I just hope she'll be okay. Yeah, well, Monica isn't my focus for now anyway. I dig out my phone and navigate to Yuri. Hey Yuri. Also, I've said this before, for text I'm just gonna read it normally. Good afternoon, Code, how are you? Yeah, I'm good, thanks. My fingers hesitate over the screen. You busy tonight? I think I'm free, why? Another bout of hesitation. Come on, Code, she likes you too. Did you want to check out the fireworks with me tonight? Monica mentioned that we can go to the Skytree Tower. I can see Yuri typing a message, but the seconds that tick by feel like hours. An awful lot is resting upon those 3 dots. I'd love to. What time do they start? The feeling of relief coursing through me makes my body feel much, much lighter. Why was I even nervous? Monica said they start around 10, so would you want to come over a bit earlier? We can hang out and then go from my house. Of course. Is it okay if I come over at 7? There are a few errands I need to run. Sure thing. I'll see you at 7 then. I look forward to it. Well, all things considered, that could have gone a lot worse. Although I'm relieved I can't help but feel apprehensive about how tonight will go. I mean, a date with Yuri? Under the fireworks? On New Year's Day? We almost kissed last time, and now there won't be anyone to interrupt us. Oh man, I really hope I don't mess up our first kiss. Maybe I could Google it. I laugh as I slip my phone back into my pocket. Man, I really need to get rid of these Christmas decorations. I'll do it tomorrow. Besides, I don't think Yuri will mind. It's been a few hours since I got back from my walk. Since then, I decided to cook some more salmon teriyaki, as I still had a surplus of the ingredients from Christmas Day. I'm still surprised at my own cooking prowess. The days of ready meals and unhealthy snacks seem so long ago. It's safe to say that Yuri has definitely changed my life for the better. I jump slightly at the sound of the doorbell ringing. Wow, is it really 7 o'clock already? Looks like our date is already upon us. Stay calm, Code. Stay calm. With one last quick deep breath, I swing the door open.
Good evening, Code.
Yuri, hey! Without thinking, I dart forward and wrap her into a hug. The sudden action catches Yuri off guard. That much is obvious by how she startles. She eases into the gesture, tentatively sliding her arms around me. She smells wonderful and feels so warm.
Not that I'm complaining, but what brought this on?
It's only as we break apart does my brain finally catch up. I don't think I've ever been so forward with Yuri before. Did I really just do that? I don't know. Sorry, I didn't really mean to make you feel uncomfortable.
No, it's okay. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You're quite a good hugger, Code.
You too. Anyway, come on in. She smiles gratefully and steps into the hallway, closing the door shortly behind her.
So we have 3 hours until the fireworks start. What would you like to do in the meantime?
That's a good question. We normally read a book or cook, right? Well, I've already made some teriyaki and I don't think you have any books on you, right? She nods. How about we try a VN? Oh, we're gonna read a visual novel. What kind of visual novel? Psychological horror? Like maybe one about a literature club. Wouldn't that be fun?
VN?
Oh, sorry, a visual novel.
A visual novel?
Yeah, are you familiar with them?
Yes, I am, although I can't say I've tried any myself. They're essentially text-based stories that you play as a computer or video game, correct? With art, such as sprites?
Uh-huh. Well, I guess they're kinda like halfway point between the traditional methods of storytelling you prefer and the manga that Natsuki likes.
I suppose that's one way of looking at them.
She doesn't look as enthusiastic compared to when we talk about a normal book, which is a shame. But it's understandable, I guess. You don't look too keen.
Oh? I don't? Sorry, I didn't mean to look bored or anything.
She takes a moment to compose herself.
Let's give it a try, Code. I believe it will do me well to try a new medium of storytelling. And I shouldn't be dismissive just because it's different to what I'm used to. So, what did you have in mind?
Well, I know how much a good story means to you, so I've got just the VN. Basically, it's about a bunch of students who get locked in a school, and the only way is to escape is to kill someone else and not get caught in the class trials that happen after a murder. It's Danganronpa! I talked about this earlier. Guys, this game knows my preferences. I've talked about this earlier and it just... Jesus. I can't believe it. Seriously? Seriously? Sorry about that. But seriously? The exact livestream where I talk about Danganronpa is the one where the game itself decides to bring it up. Oh my god. Now isn't that... isn't that interesting? Trust me, it's full of twists and I want to see if someone as smart and analytical as you can figure out who the murderers are in the cases. It really raises a lot of questions about what lengths people will go to survive, and the characters are fantastically written.
A murder mystery. Are there any horror elements by any chance?
Unfortunately not. Can get quite tense and some of the chapters are fairly creepy though. Trust me, even without horror, I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Okay then. I'll trust you on that. Let's go.
So which one are we doing? The first one probably. I mean, it only makes sense to start with taking one part 1. Nearly 2 hours passed since I introduced Yuri to the game. Needless to say, it's proven to be a large hit with her. A surprise to be sure, but not an unwelcome one. Oh, come on! Why did you have to rephrase it? A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Why did you have to rephrase it? You know what, it doesn't matter. We've just reached the second trial, and although Yuri was keen to press on to find out who the killer of the chapter was, we have to get a move on.
A true predicament. The risk permanently blackening your conscience in the name of freedom.
They even use the word blacken. Like the blackened who committed the crime.
Or can such an act be excused in such circumstances? Obviously, murder is wrong, and outside of self-defense, never tolerated in society. But it's safe to say that in those walls, the regular rules of society don't apply.
So it's in those walls. So it is probably the first game, as to be expected, where they're locked inside the school, as opposed to the second game where they're on an island. It could potentially be the third game, where the entire building is encircled by a giant wall. But I have to say that most likely it only makes sense to start from the first game, so that's what this is. Somehow I knew you'd like it. Anyway, we should probably get going soon. Oh, I almost forgot, for the fireworks we have to book online. Could you search for the tower online? She complies, and within minutes, the appropriate phone number is on the screen. Anyway, I need the bathroom real quick, so I'll be back in a second. A date with Yuri under the fireworks. This really does sound like a stereotype. To my surprise, however, Yuri's just sitting there, awkwardly twiddling her phone in her hands. Yuri? Did you ring them? I kinda assumed you would, given that I went to the bathroom.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Well, I know that she struggles with talking to people face to face, but over the phone as well? Come on, you can't say that's not understandable. It's the same for me, sadly. Anyways, I mean, it's different when I don't have people talking to me back directly, like in a chat. That's why. Can you imagine how horrible it would be if I was scared of people talking to me back to me in text form as well? I definitely couldn't be streaming in that case. Also, by the way, why didn't you just call them up the moment Yuri agreed to it? Like, if Yuri agreed to it and said, okay, I'm gonna go, then you could have immediately called and made the reservation. That's what I would have done. Well, I guess I would have done if I didn't have to call them. Like, can you just book online, or do you probably have to call in that case? But usually in that situation, you would book it immediately afterwards, just in case. I don't know, there might be a limited number of slots available, so it's always best to do that sort of stuff early on. I am gonna be nice and call for her. I'm gonna take the work from her. That's what, in her situation, that's what I would want others to do for me. I wouldn't go out of my way to say it, because it's embarrassing to ask others to just make a call for you. But it's what I would want others to do for me, so that's what I'm gonna do for her. Okay? Fair enough. Let's get on with it. It's cool, I should have realized you struggle with this sort of thing, so I shouldn't have left this up to you. I'll ring them, don't worry about it.
Are you sure I really should do it myself?
I'm sure. With my phone in hand, I make the booking. Simple enough, just needed our names, and I told them we'd pay the money when we get there. Done.
I can't believe I couldn't even do something as simple as that.
Yuri, it's honestly okay. Let's just get going though, right?
Oh, okay, sorry.
I chuckled to myself. Her New Year's resolution should really be to apologize less. Oh, it's cold, isn't it? At least the snow's gone, though. A soft warmth slowly makes its way over my cold hands, as I quickly notice where the warmth comes from, a very embarrassed and blushing Yuri.
You don't mind, do you? I figured with our combined heat we could...
She moves to withdraw her hands, but I hold firm. It's okay. Your hands feel really warm, and I like being able to do this with you. I swallow as a tiny bead of sweat forms on my forehead. Yuri smiles bashfully, but keeps her hands locked around mine.
I've never held hands with someone before.
What about your parents?
Well, obviously I've held hands with them, but I meant more in this kind of sense.
Ah, of course, this kind of sense. Neither of us know what it is. But to be honest, it feels nice, so why bother questioning it? Same. A quiet, comfortable silence falls between us. How is it that something as simple and basic as holding someone's hand can make you feel so warm and content inside?
This isn't the only new feeling I've had, to be honest. Spending time with you over the past few months has proven to be a novel experience in many ways.
How so?
It might sound rather sad.
I tenderly rub my thumb over the back of Yuri's hand. You can say it, Yuri. There's no judgment here.
The feeling of having a friend, knowing that there's someone out there who actually cares about me.
Yuri, don't you dare friendzone me. We've gone too far for you to do this now. We've gone too far to get into the friend zone at this point. Please don't do it.
And wants to spend time with me. It's something I've never really felt before.
Huh? Really? Not even with the other club members?
Oh, I'm friends with the girls, of course. What I'm trying to say is that, well, our friendship feels a lot deeper than the bonds I have with those three. I get along with Natsuki, Sayori, and Monica. We can talk about things, but...
She looks away.
With you, it feels like you truly want to be my friend. I feel like I can count on you, more so than I can count on the others. Not to say that I don't value them or anything.
Nah, I think I know what you're saying. Like, I'm friends with them as well, but I don't feel a connection with you that I don't have with the... But I do feel a connection with you that I don't have with the others. Even with Sayori, which is saying something.
You really mean that?
Of course I do. But I find it strange that I'm your first, like, proper friend. I'd have thought someone like you would have plenty of close friendships.
Someone like me?
Yeah, someone so kind, so thoughtful, so intelligent, and so interesting. She smiles sadly.
You're too kind, Code. I just wish that other people see me the way you do.
Oh god, don't kill me now, Throat. Come on. Sorry. Let's keep going. Ah.
I just wish that other people see me the way you do.
Before I have a chance to pursue that somewhat mysterious sentence any further, Yuri nudges me and points me toward a building. Is this the moment we get the new CG, like up on the tower with the fireworks? Please.
This is the tower, yes?
Please tell me up there is our first new CG. It's long overdue by this point. Come on. Oh, yeah, it is. Let's head inside to pay before we head up. After what felt like a billion flight of steps, we're finally at the top. Yuri is huffing just as much as I am, which makes me chuckle slightly. It looks about like we're both as unfit as each other.
Wow. The view from up here is incredible.
As I gaze over the edge, I am afforded a lovely view of the entire city. The small pinpricks of yellow light contrast beautifully against the darkness of the sky. Yuri walks over to the edge of the balcony, her face lights up in awe as she takes in the sights, and honestly, it's hard to tell what's more beautiful. I take my place next to her and instinctively reach for her hands. The shyness in her face is still detectable, but a newfound sense of confidence has largely taken its place. Looking over the city with Yuri's hand in mine makes me feel nostalgic in a way. Almost like I'm looking over every memory, every moment, and every event in my life. It's rare that I feel this contemplative and reflective, but there's no denying how enjoyable it feels. Getting lost in thought, idly thinking about anything and everything. It's a mental bliss that resonates perfectly with the girl I'm standing with.
Code?
Her voice is soft and gentle, as if sensing the immersion of the moment and being wary to disrupt it.
Do you ever think about all the decisions you've made? All the actions you've taken, all the things you've said, all of the friendships and bonds you've made?
Sometimes, but it's not often, but moments like these make me reflective.
I like to do the same. All of those choices, decisions and actions, they make us who we are today. Are you happy with the choices you've made?
Right now? Definitely. Are you? She looks away for a moment.
I think it's safe to say that everyone has their regrets. Things they could have done differently, which would have produced a better result. Things that they wish they didn't say in an argument. Things they wish they told people while they could. But I think people forget about the things they're happy with. The things they'd never trade for. The things they'd never trade for anything in the world. And
she takes a deep breath.
This moment is definitely one of them.
She scoots closer to me at this point, our hips are touching, and the attractive scent of her perfume wafts its way into my nose. Oh, the temptation to just grab her and kiss her right now. I agree 100%, Yuri. There's nothing I regret too. There's things I regret too. No, there's nothing I regret. I'm a perfect being. Nothing I can do could possibly be wrong. Now there's things I regret too. The past year hasn't been great. What with the divorce and the loneliness, I turned to face her. But all of that is in the past now. Now I'm up here, holding hands with a beautiful girl, ready to celebrate the new year. An intense blush covers Yuri's face and she looks away for a moment or two. When she looks back at me, there's a coy smile on her face.
I never knew you were this romantic.
We steadily move closer and closer. I can feel her warm breath on my face. Closer, closer, until... The loud sound of a firework going off makes both of us jump. It's always something interrupting you, isn't it? The familiar feeling of disappointment returns, but only for a moment. The intense colors and fervent display of this first round of fireworks are too good to ignore. It's a new CG, eh? Once the dark sky explodes into life, illuminated by a magnificent display of reds, yellows, greens and blues, all fighting for dominance in the canvas that is the night sky. So we get another look at the protagonist here as well. We got one look at him in the original game during the Sayori hug scene, when we tell her that we are in love with her, which we didn't do here. So we definitely have a rough understanding of what the character looks like. But yeah, this is definitely interesting. Also a new outfit for the main character. And it's time for a celebration as we finally, and I mean finally, got our first one of the new CGs. It's been a long time coming, let's be honest here. But we finally got it. As the sounds roar, Yuri slides up to me, resting the back of her head on my neck as she looks up into the dazzling display. Despite the loudness and brightness of the pyrotechnics, they don't at all feel overwhelming. In a way, it feels like they're our fireworks, our own celebration of not just a new year, but a personal celebration of the newfound relationship between Yuri and I. The rainbow of colors dancing across the atmosphere. It's very hard to believe that the skies were an empty dark blue just a few moments ago. I can even see the sight in front of me reflected on Yuri's violet eyes. Another color I could get lost in.
These are breathtaking. I've seen New York's fireworks before, but only on television. Never like this. I feel like I'm up there with them.
I knew it was worth the intense cardio to get up here. Which one's your favorite?
Oh, there are so many good choices. I love that little purple one. It's not as big or bold as some of the others, but it's a sight to behold in its own right.
I figured you'd say the purple one. It's a good choice. I'm a sucker for the big ones, though. The way they shoot up and you know, there's going to... the way they shoot up and, you know, there's going to be a big explosion. It makes the wait worth it. A smaller firework whistles by, moving horizontally across the sky. Another whirls in a frantic spiral, shooting a luminous light as it goes. Another takes the form of a shooting star, leaving a glistening trail in its wake.
Did you see that one, Code? I love how it's meant to emulate a shooting star. Must be so fun to design fireworks, knowing that your creations will awe and amaze people.
You know what? I never actually thought about that. But yeah, there's always someone designing the fireworks. Like how they work, especially like this, any special ones that like leave some sort of trail or make some sort of shape when they blow up. There's gonna be a lot of work put into those, and it's just amazing. I never really think about the people who design these who design fireworks, but that must be an interesting job, definitely. There's an almost childlike sense of playfulness in her voice, the kind I'd normally associate with Sayori. It's refreshing to see such a pure, innocent joy in her. Eventually the fireworks start to wear off. With one last huge explosion, the yellow lights flicker out, leaving the night sky to remain empty once more. Worth it, eh?
Definitely. Oh God, that was perhaps the best way to start the year. Thank you for everything.
Now that the show is over, we're pretty much back to where we were before we were interrupted. With my heart hammering away, my face inches closer and closer to Yuri's. And this time, I know full well there won't be anything to get in the way. As suddenly Monica shows up. No, this time it's... yeah, okay. Okay, it's happening. It's happening. This time it's actually happening. I close my eyes as I feel warm, soft lips on my own. It happened. The Yuri romance is now officially going. And this time officially. This is where it begins. The feeling is indescribable. It just feels so right. And Trizidemu, hi, welcome. What? Wrong game. What do you mean wrong game? Hang on, what do you mean wrong game? Did I mess something up? Let me just check real quick. Right? No. Did I mess it up? Hang on a second. Yeah. Come on. Let me just... It was in horror? Well... Oh. So that's why you think it's wrong. Because it was in horror. I'm playing a modded version, but do you know the original Doki Doki Literature Club? It's a psychological horror game. Basically, it's meant to appear innocent at first and... you know, kind of drag you down into the pits of terror. Because over time, all the characters you grow to love will just start to kill themselves. And you'll just have a great time all the time and then walk into someone's room and see them hanging on a noose. So yeah, that's why it's in horror, because it's a psychological horror game. Now I'm playing a modded version, of course, which is why I am not sure if that same kind of horror is coming around this time. But it might. I'd kind of doubt it will happen, though. So yeah, that's why it's probably sorted in horror. So, sorry about Sorry if it confused you, but I think, yeah, I guess we'll see. Again, this modded version has been going a lot longer so far than the original game. And I haven't really seen any real horror coming through, just the same old subtle hints about the character's problems. Like for Sayori, we can still see her depression showing its face every now and then. You can clearly see that she is not too fond of the fact that I'm hanging out with other people. As for Yuri, we sometimes get glimpses into the fact that she's still cutting herself. And, well, then again, the main character is so dense he doesn't even notice that she's still she's cutting herself, but who cares? Yeah, there's still dark undertones, but I think this modded version is not quite as much focused on horror as the original. Oh well. The feeling is indescribable, it just feels so right. Her pace is slow and passionate, and I'm able to easily match her rhythm. Yuri hums contentedly as I hold her hips and pull her closer to me. Her hands are linked around the back of my neck, pulling me into the kiss. I gently rest my hands on her neck and the side of her face. The softness of her skin matches the softness of her lips. After a while, we eventually break apart. With her face this close to mine, I can see every eyelash, and more worryingly, the tears that are forming in her eyes. Yuri, are you okay?
I'm fine. Sorry, that was just a really intense moment for me.
Hey, it's okay. Take your time. It was pretty overwhelming on my end as well. I'm here for you. I'm not going anywhere. She clings to me a little harder.
Do you really mean that?
Of course I do.
Even if I were to show you the parts of me that I'm ashamed of, would you still stay with me?
Is she gonna officially admit that she's cutting herself now? Or is she gonna show her yandere side? Because I know she has a yandere side to her as well. Though her yandere aspect has been a little bit more subtle. But let's see if she admits some stuff here. Yuri? That's not even a question, of course I would. I wouldn't leave you for anything.
Thank you. Thank you.
She wraps her arms around me and rests her head on my chest. I am a little taken aback, but I take the opportunity to plant a kiss on the top of her head. I'm curious though, what exactly did she mean by parts of me that I'm ashamed of? Nah, now isn't the time to ask. So, I guess we're boyfriend and girlfriend now, huh?
I suppose we are.
The new semester's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yes, it almost definitely will be.
With a smile, she gently grasps my hand and leads me down towards the door. I'm still hardly daring to believe my luck. Yuri actually kissed me. You have 3 guesses. Well, then guess away. Guess away. Feel free to ask me any questions here. Or, well, take your guesses and see if I already know some stuff. Nope. Alright then. I'm still hardly daring to believe my luck. You actually kissed me. I must be the luckiest guy in the world. They stay in your head, alright, fair enough, fair enough. There's Act 3! Everything I touch crumbles down in this imaginary world. How many times have I rebuilt it? Act 3, Old Wounds. And I see some blood on the paper. Is Act 3 gonna be a little bit darker again? Because Act 1 was a retelling of the original unmodded game. Act 2 was just kind of mainly fun with a few aspects of their character coming out again, like just in the background. You see Sayori being a little bit depressed and stuff. Is Act 3 gonna be a little bit darker again? And actually tackle these issues that they have? I'm curious to see that. Especially since I saw blood on the paper. Which makes me worried, because the last time I saw blood on a piece of paper in Doki Doki was when Yuri was handing me a poem that she covered in her own blood and pee stains. But that was in the original game, not the modded version, so she hasn't done anything crazy like that here. And I hope she won't do that, because that's a little bit, going a bit far. As my eyes slowly flutter open and the last vestiges of sleep leave my body, I run my hands through my hair, thinking about how my life is in its current state. Compared to how last January started, it's definitely a lot different. For one, I actually have a girlfriend now. We kissed and it's a given that we like each other, so why do I still feel a little uneasy? Because there's dark stuff going on. Is it because I still find it hard to believe Yuri likes a guy like me? A clever, gorgeous, sophisticated girl like that? Self-doubt really has a way of eating you up from the inside. There's no point dwelling on it, Code. She chose you for a reason, okay? Yeah, this year has got off to a good start, so let's keep it that way. A slow smile creeps across my face as I get out of bed and start my morning routine. It's going to be an interesting year. Oh, one thing I could do without is the bitter cold. It's always freezing around this time of the year. At least I'll have Yuri to warm me up. Her love for snuggling up with indoors. Alright, I think that with is out of place. Her love for snuggling up indoors with a book in hand might just come in very handy. And she's also so warm whenever we hug. Really interesting patch of wall, huh? Okay, who's talking? In an attempt to hastily break out of my trance, I make a mental effort to bring myself to focus on the girl in front of me. What? Emmy giggles. Oh no, it's the fifth character. The fifth girl. The one I can't do a voice for because I can't do many girl voices. Okay.
Come on, this is the first time that I've been this early. So I want to see the look on Sakurai's face.
I grin. Lead the way.
How was your Christmas break anyway?
Pretty good, yeah? She must have picked up on the happiness in my voice. As she bounces on the spot excitedly, I can tell that what her next question is going to be.
Oh? And why is that?
She sounds a little bit like a mixture of Sayori and Natsuki currently. I don't know. As I've said, I can't do many female voices because I am clearly not female. Hell, it's always nice spending Christmas with some friends, you know. There's a mischievous smile on her face as she puts me slightly on edge.
Especially when those friends are girls, huh?
And of course that mischievous smile on her face is followed by a knowing smirk. What are you trying to say, Emmy?
Yuri Code? Wait, that is her name, right? The girl with the purple hair?
Yeah, why?
Oh, nothing. I saw you guys together on New Year's Eve, that's all.
Well, there go my hopes of being subtle.
So tell me everything.
Thankfully, I'm spared from telling Amy everything as the classroom doors swing open and Sakurai strolls in. After setting down his papers, he turns to address the class. Morning, everyone. I hope you all had a good break.
Code certainly did.
I nudge her in the ribs. Oh, and why is that? Come on, brain, think of something. If you can somehow convince a girl like Yuri to like me, you must be capable. I'm just, well, I did a lot of reading on 20th century history, so I'm, in a great position to hit the ground running this semester. Sakurai doesn't look entirely convinced, but he nods. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll be able to answer a lot of the questions that are coming up then. He chortles and turns his face to the blackboard. I glare at Emmy, only to be met by a childlike grin. The 1920s and the 1930s, guys. Believe me, these are some interesting years. And just like that, the lesson's begun. And just like that, the lesson's over. Sometime later, I find myself wandering down to the club room. As I get closer to the door, I spot a familiar figure. A nervous smile works its way onto my face. It's Yuri, isn't it? Yep. There she is. Our official girlfriend.
Good morning, Code.
Morning, Yuri. It's nice to see you again. She smiles shyly. There's no hiding the red blush that's crept onto her face.
And you, Code?
There's an awkward silence for a moment, but of course it's a given. Yuri doesn't really know how to take a compliment, although that's part of what makes her so endearing. Shall we go inside then? Don't know about you, but I'm kinda hungry. She looks relieved at the change of topic.
Yes, I was just about to suggest that. It's rather convenient timing that we were both let out at the same time, don't you think?
That, or both of our teachers happen to be hungry. You're the analytical one, so I'll leave that to you. With a small laugh, she opens the door and leads us through. To my surprise, we're the last ones in. Monika and Sayori look deep into a conversation about something, while Natsuki has her face firmly hidden behind some manga. The girls look over, well, Monika and Sayori do, and give us a brief smile before turning back to their conversation. Should we go over and talk to them? Yuri pauses for a moment as her eyes briefly go over to the other club members. She eventually shakes her head.
Well, I wouldn't. It seems like they're all engrossed in their own thing.
Fair enough, works for me. We both take a seat and pull out our food. Unsurprisingly, Yuri's meal looks a lot fancier than mine. I motion towards it. Homemade, I'm guessing?
Yes, you can never go wrong with vegetable stir-fry paired with rice. The combination of flavors is always satisfying to the taste buds.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
I don't sound like a broken record, do I?
Huh? No, not at all. I just remember it because I thought it was really interesting how food meant so much to you. She doesn't look entirely convinced, but she starts eating nonetheless. A brief silence falls between us. Even though she's looking at her food, I get a shrewd suspicion that her focus is elsewhere.
Say, Code.
Hmm?
Have you given much thought about to what you want to do after school?
Probably go home and watch anime? Why? We briefly made eye contact, seeing Yuri narrow her eyes, trying to figure out if I was being sarcastic or serious. Is strangely enjoyable, in a silly sort of way. Eventually she realizes I'm joking and smiles as she shakes her head softly.
You know what I mean.
Truthfully, I don't really know. It's not really something I spend a lot of time thinking about, if I'm being honest. I probably should give it some thought, but I guess it just isn't high on my priority list. My eyes wander over to Sayori and Monika. Sayori looks like she's a little sad about something, while Monika is apparently trying to cheer her up. Sayori is sad that I'm together with Yuri. And it's especially bad because she's already depressed as it is. And as her childhood friend, I'm not hanging out with her, but instead have chosen another girl. So she's incredibly depressed now. And she's still trying her best to hide it, as she has always been. But, oh well. Main character, dense as always. Main characters are meant to be dense. It's, you know, the general rule. If you have a main character, he's usually dense. That's like the basic character trait. There are a few exceptions to the rule, but that's just usually what's happening. The sight of them talking makes me feel grateful, but also a little guilty. As much as I've enjoyed spending time with Yuri, I haven't really seen much of Sayori over the past few months. Which isn't helping her depression. I guess I shouldn't complain. I'm partially at fault for choosing to spend all my time with Yuri. I'm gonna keep doing this. I wanna spend as much time with Yuri as possible. And then start a new run with the other characters. Still, it's good to know that she has other friends, right?
Given how we're only second years, it's understandable.
I return my gaze to Yuri. Judging by the look on your face, you've probably spent a little more time than I have on the matter.
I suppose you could say that.
Let me guess, you want to go to university? To study something like Japanese?
Was I really that obvious?
It was just a really fitting pick, that's all.
I suppose it is.
I imagine you're excited to go?
To university? Yes and no, actually. Oh, on the one hand, university can be such a stimulating place. The amount of things you can learn while you're there. At high school, you're naturally limited by what your teachers choose to teach. From what I've gathered, you're given much more independence at the undergraduate level. But on the other hand, I've been at school for almost all my life. To make that jump, especially if I were to go to a new part of the country, well, it definitely evokes a lot of anxiety. There's a comfort to be had in a routine. I know exactly what to expect. Well, for the most part, with school, humans naturally dislike change, and as exciting as I think higher education will be, it comes at a cost.
Well, when you put it like that, yeah, I can definitely see what you mean. But I think it's something that we have to go through at some point, right? Even if we just go straight into work after leaving school. My eyes wander over to Natsuki. Her position hasn't changed in the slightest. Man, that manga must be pretty damn good. Yuri follows my line of sight, her eyes land on Natsuki as well. Given the already thoughtful look on her face, it's hard to tell if her thoughts have changed.
Natsuki's only a first year, so I suppose there wouldn't be much sense in having this conversation with her.
Hang on a moment. I don't think post-school plans had even crossed my mind back when I first got into high school.
What about Sayori? Have you ever spoken about this with her?
Not really. We only began talking to one another a couple of months ago, and I catch myself just in time mentioning that Sayori and I haven't had much time to ourselves because I've spent so much time with Yuri. Would just make Yuri feel bad. Well, I guess there just hasn't been a right time. Besides, she never really struck me as someone who really gave much thought to her future, kinda like me. Whereas someone like Monica, well, the impression I get from her is that she's probably got a plan. I chuckle to myself, remembering how my parents used to say that my school years would flash by in the blink of an eye. I've had this conversation with Mom and Dad before. It was a while ago, though. I think they wanted me to go to university, so I guess our plans aren't too far off. Guessing you had a similar conversation with your parents, right? Yuri?
Yes, I think so.
The vague, uncertain nature of her answer throws me off guard for a moment, but I'm not given much time to push it as Monica suddenly turns to us.
Hey, you two. Sorry about not saying hi just now. I was a little preoccupied.
It's all good, everyone seemed to be doing their own thing, so I don't think anyone really noticed. You okay, Sayori? You looked a little down when we walked in.
Oh, I'm fine. What made you think that?
I don't know, guess it just looked like Monica was trying to cheer you up or about something. Just how I interpreted the situation, that's all.
There's nothing wrong, silly. How was your New Year's Eve?
I glanced toward Yuri. There's a faint blush on her cheeks. It was really something. The look on Sayori's face goes from quizzical to understanding as she puts two and two together.
Oh, you're together, aren't you?
I reach out and gently wave Yuri's hands weave Yuri's hands into mine. Yeah, we are.
I knew there was something going on between you two. I'm so happy for you guys.
Sayori's smile is so huge it's almost bordering on insincere. almost bordering on insincere. It might be insincere. You know nothing about her. Great. That's precisely what this club needs. Lovey-dovey mushy stuff.
I'm surprised you'd even notice that mushy stuff. With how absorbed into your manga you seem to be.
It doesn't block out the sound of people kissing, you know. That sounds like it came from personal experience. She tips her manga down to glare at me. I grin and raise my free hand up in a comedic display of self-defense.
To be fair, she has a point. PDAs are a major no-no for me.
Don't worry, we'll save the physical stuff for when you guys aren't around. What? Silent. What? Just what I just said. Why are you all looking at me like that? Oh god, I sound like Natsuki. Hang on a second. I really sound like Natsuki here. Just, why are you all looking at me like that? You never really think before you open your mouth, do you? What do you mean? The sound of the bell ringing cuts my question short. And soon after, the sound of scraping chairs fills the air as everyone starts packing up. It's only as we're all heading towards the door that I do realize why what I just said caused so much awkwardness. You think? Oh. No, I didn't mean it like that. Guys. But Monika, Natsuki, and Sayori are already gone. Desperately, I turn to Yuri. You knew what I really meant, right? I awkwardly rub the back of my head. Yuri?
You know, you're quite endearing when you're flustered.
She smiles and heads off. Oh, this game is on! It's so nice to get to see this sort of happy stuff, even with the dark undertones still lurking in the background. Okay, what's up now? It's nice to have a day to myself for once. It seems like it's been a while since I haven't made plans for the weekend. Funny thing, what joining a single club can do to your social life. That's probably an exaggeration on my part, though. I'm just used to staying in on the weekends, that whenever I do go out, it's a huge deal in my mind. And Alan the Ninja. Hi. Welcome to the stream. And is that game weird? Weird in what sense? I need you to clarify on that. Weird as in it has some dark undertones? Yes. Weird as in typical... I don't know, what kind of weird do you mean? I need you to specify a bit. But it's certainly, I can tell you about it a bit to answer your question. It's a game that has a lot of dark undertones. I'm playing a modded version, but in the original version, characters do end up killing themselves after a while, which is why it's classified as psychological horror. Well, you mean the schmexy time? So far, I can say confidently, no. I mean, we're already in Act 3, and it's taken so many hours to get here. And so far, the most we've gotten was a kiss scene, and that was just a black screen, and nothing else. Just a black screen with the text. So that's everything that was going on in that regard. However, just in case, I have prepared. In the settings, there was an option to censor stuff. And thank you for following, by the way. I appreciate it. Thanks for the follow. So yeah, we're gonna see where this goes, but so far, really not much going on. All this way into Act 3, and still, the most intimate was a kiss on a black screen. So I think you're pretty much safe. I'm just so not used to staying in on the weekends that whenever I do go out, it's a huge deal in my mind. Let's see, what should I do? I'm suddenly overwhelmed by the possibilities. Well, Guess I should start by brushing my teeth and getting dressed. Because you're only 13, I guess that makes sense. Well, you're lucky that you're 13. I don't know if this applies to the modded version as well. But for the original game, it specifically said that you have to be at least 13 years of age. So you're meeting that requirement. Hang on a short moment. Jesus Christ, this cold is killing me. Alright, let's keep going. A fresh minty taste permeates my mouth. Unfortunately, orange juice is out of the question for now. Might as well make another foray into the world of cooking. What was one piece of the recipes Yuri told me about before? Egg rice? I guess you could still hear me in the background. Damn it, I should have just muted myself. I have the recording software visible for me. I can't just mute it at any time. I should have just done that instead of trying to... yeah. Instead of trying to get away. Make meat. Well, if I get the option to make meat. Egg rice. It sounded pretty simple back then. Let's see if it actually is. I don't get a choice. I'm not making meat apparently. I half-heartedly swirl some rice around in a bowl full of water. It's been a while since I cooked rice for myself. I'm just too impatient to wait for it to cook. Let's start. Egg rice is pretty good. The mouthfeel is kind of slimy, but the taste is there. I don't know if I actually cooked it correctly, but how badly could I have messed up such a simple recipe? Very badly? You can always mess stuff up horribly. You never know. I might make it again the next time I'm too lazy to make something more complex. Which is to say, basically every meal. This has got to be more healthy instead of just, more healthy than instant meals though, right? I wonder if Yuri's eating this right now too. She did say that she eats it for breakfast quite often. It's like that cheesy saying where people are connected by the same moon overhead. Sure, yeah, sure. But instead of the moon, we're connected by eggy rice. Isn't that romantic? It's just perfect. Yuri does wake up way earlier than me though, so she probably finished eating by now. Speaking of Yuri, I should probably make some headway on one of the countless books she's recommended to me if I want to be able to keep up with her. Let's see. I've only gotten through a few more chapters in the book, but I'm already feeling restless. The plot isn't bad, but the themes seem a bit elusive to me. It interestingly employs a stream of conscious style of narration too that I am not too used to reading. I wonder if Yuri ever gets bored when reading. It's not like she's some inhuman reading machine, so there must be some writers who she dislikes. Knowing her, she'd be the type of person to soldier on and finish the book anyway, despite her feelings towards it. Maybe I should go outside and stretch my legs for a bit, then come back to the book later with fresh eyes. Yes, with fresh eyes. I'm gonna kill someone and take their eyes. It's that time of winter day outside that's sunny, yet still chilly. The clear cold sunshine lights up the uniformly grey sky. This kind of sunlight has always reminded me a bit of the hue of fluorescent lights. Makes the air seem strangely crystalline. Fortunately for me, it's not cold enough to warrant bundling up in a bunch of layers. Just my sweater is enough to keep me comfortable. Some people have crazy cold tolerance. I'll never be able to reach the same level of girls who can wear skirts in freezing weather. And Star RL? What do you mean, oh my god, Fortnite? What, did I miss something? What do you mean? What do you mean Fortnite? I don't get it. Sure. Sure, this is Fortnite. Sure. Hang on a second, I need to do something really quick. Sorry about that. Jesus Christ, I think I'm getting sick. Well, anyway, not like that's for you guys to worry about. Crazy cold tolerance. Alright, here we go. Speaking of which, there's a girl in a skirt approaching me. Looks like she's walking her dog. Huh? Is that Shiori? Great, it's another female character. Another one that doesn't really appear that much. Hey Shiori, I have no idea, absolutely not the slightest idea what voice I gave you. You appeared like once. I think. Did you even appear once? I think you did. Just a long time ago. Oh god, what sort of voice would she have? What sort of voice would she have? She basically only appeared in my first ever stream, I think. My first ever Doki Doki Blue Sky stream. She hasn't appeared at all since then. So I literally have no idea what sort of voice I even wanted to give her. Think about this. It has to be a good one. Well, it doesn't have to be a good one, considering she's probably just gonna vanish forever anyway. Should I just do something incredibly cringy? What kind of stupid voice could I give her? What's up, Code? Alright, I'm gonna go as cringy as possible on this. Hang on tight. I didn't know you lived this close to me. Oh, is that your house over there? I wouldn't say I live too close by. Just that I take a really long walk. Oh. Maybe you should go on a run with Emmy sometime. Ha! As you might be able to keep up with her. Anyway, it's just that my dog really likes being outside, so I hit 2 birds with 1 stone by getting both me and my dog exercise this way. Isn't that right, Mochi? Mochi barks cheerfully in response, waggling its tail furiously. I don't even know what sort of voice this is I'm doing right now. I have no idea. I'm just going with it right now. Next time she appears, I'm probably gonna have forgotten this voice anyway and gonna be doing something else entirely once again. Mochi. That's a cute name. Mochi. It matches his look too. It's just like a huge ball of white fur. Yep. Some Samoyeds look kinda like gigantic blobs of white mochi, don't they? What is it, like a cringy combination of a Scottish accent and Arnold Schwarzenegger? Some sort of cringy half-assed combination of the two, probably, if I had to guess what sort of voice I'm even doing right now. I don't know. I mean, maybe if you squint really hard, they have terrible... I mean, maybe if you squint really hard and have terrible vision. You just don't know how to appreciate dogs or mochi. So, this voice is so cringy, I'm gonna kill myself. So, are you out enjoying the sunny day as well? Or are you gonna pop back into your nasty otaku den after this? Well, I decided to take a walk. I do not have a nasty otaku den. I wouldn't even call myself an otaku. Just because a guy dabbles in the occasional anime or manga doesn't mean that he's an otaku. Don't forget video games. Oh yeah, wait. Don't worry, I won't tell any girls about it. How do you even know what hobbies I'm into? Look, just because I don't confiscate the manga you read in class doesn't mean I don't notice it. You should be thankful you have such a chill class rep. Otherwise, next time you swap manga with your buddies, you might find yourself in huge trouble. Says the girl who wildly modifies her uniform. And just so you know, the girls I hang out with don't mind those things. Or at least I don't think so. I'm just teasing you, Code. Yeah. Do you have cram school or something after this? I assume that's why you're wearing your uniform out on a Sunday. Eh? No, it's just a habit from my old school. I used to... I don't know if this is... Are you guys cringing as much as I am right now? I hope you are. I used to go to this really prestigious private school that required everyone to wear their uniforms outside. Like every high school student wears the uniform when they go to academic related things like cram school. But we had to wear our uniforms when we were just hanging out outside of school too. Something about holding ourselves accountable for our conduct both in and out of school. Sounds suffocating. No kidding. The headmaster had a giant stick up his butt. I don't even know what this voice is turning into right now. So are you overcompensating with your current uniform then? Making up for all those years you couldn't customize your uniform? Let's just say that I'm glad the rules are less strict at our school. Mochi suddenly barks and tugs on his leash, causing Shiori to stumble a bit. Okay, Mochi. Looks like she wants to get going now. I'll see you at school, Code. See ya. Mochi runs off with a struggling Shiori in tow. It's as if Shiori is the one being walked by her dog. Well, I should probably head back to finish my book anyhow. It's night by the time I flip over the last page of the novel and snap the cover shut. That's one book down, a billion more to go. By the way, I'm gonna end the stream after this day is over. I know it's not the longest of streams, but let's just be honest, I think it was still pretty enjoyable. I said it before, usually I wanted to stream a lot longer, and most people do stream a lot longer. But then I kind of dialed it back a bit because I'm kind of busy recently. And I should probably also get some sleep at times. But I've kind of worked my way back up a bit. Because 2 hours was my absolute minimum usually. And I have managed to work my way back up to the 2 hour mark now. Which is fair, I hope. Because usually people do stream a lot longer than 2 hours, let's be honest. But in my case, I feel like currently, with how busy stuff can get sometimes and how little viewers I attract anyway, I don't think there's anyone gonna be complaining if the streams are gonna end up being a little bit shorter, right? Oh well. One book down, a billion more to go. Are you proud of me yet, Yuri? I'm about to contemplate rewarding myself by binging an anime series when my cell phone rings. Binging an anime series, done that recently. I've talked about it in the previous stream where I talked about binging the Shield Hero. Well, I say binging, but I didn't watch it in its entirety in one day. It took me 2 days to watch it. So, oh well, shame on me. Not a true binge watcher. Speak of the devil, it's Yuri. I'm guessing that she's not calling to praise me on my literary accomplishments. Hey Yuri, what's up?
Hello, Code.
Just calling to say hi?
Oh, yes, I suppose so. Am I interrupting something? I hope I'm not bothering you.
Nah, don't worry, you're all good. I just finished one of the books you'd recommended me.
Oh? Which one?
It was that translated story about the thief who gets released from jail and becomes obsessed with the people who put him there.
And how did you like it?
I think I liked it overall, but it kind of made me feel a bit depressed too.
How so?
Well, the protagonist definitely isn't totally moral himself. I mean, he's a thief and ends up killing people by the end. but I couldn't help sympathizing with him. He lost everything while in jail, even his family, and just couldn't find his way back into society.
Is it true that he absolutely couldn't help but slip back into his old ways, though?
I guess not. He did have a mentor who gave him shelter and advice. Still, I found myself agreeing with him when he started to become a sort of anarchist revolutionary.
I suppose you commiserated the lack of justice from the protagonist's point of view.
Yeah, I did like how ironic the ending was. The main character spends the whole book calling his enemies traitors and dogs, but in the end gets killed by police dogs.
I think that I would agree with you on the story being a rather melancholic one. It's quite the existential bit of literature. However, I do agree with the protagonist's actions myself. The way I see it, while the main character's life is unfair in some aspects, he also uses his anger and anarchistic ideas to hide his own flawed character. After all, the story employs first-person narration and stream of consciousness, so there's an element of unreliable narrator there.
That's true. He did try to justify some pretty bad things.
But in the end, death is the greatest equalizer. Just as the protagonist dies, so shall his supposed enemies. It really makes you think about the futility of life.
Yeah. I don't really know what I'm supposed to say to that. Man, what a depressing turn this conversation's taken. Do you think that the main character could have changed, though? I mean, if he were a real person or something.
Well, it's not as though people are locked into certain personalities and dispositions at birth. I believe that people's experiences can deeply change how they see the world. The main character certainly had the ability to change, but all these events that happened to him caused him to become misanthropic and embittered.
I'd agree with that. This kind of touches on the nature versus nurture debate too, right?
Nature versus nurture, one of the biggest questions regarding the human condition. I am inclined to focus on how people's environments affect them, rather than on what they're genetically prepositioned to do myself. That's one of the reasons why I love reading people's both real and fictional stories so much. You get to see how the characters develop through the conflicts they endure. It's almost like a parent watching their child grow, but sped up to fit in the few hours it would take you to read a book.
It might only take you a few hours, but it'd probably take me much longer than that.
It doesn't seem to take a long time when you become completely absorbed in the story. And what's amazing about literature is that it can even make you sympathize with despicable people by showing you how their mindsets are warped by their experiences.
But how do you know how much a person's personality can be attributed to nature or nurture? There's no real way you can measure that kind of thing.
Oh, good point.
What if your brain is wired in a way that makes you more likely to enjoy things like literature and tea? Maybe dopamine gets released in your brain in a different way than it does in mine. That's just an example, though. I am no neuroscientist.
Perhaps how much is the wrong question. It may be more accurate to ask something along the lines of how nature and nurture interact. Anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed the novel. I may be sending more recommendations your way soon.
Hold on, I still have a long list of books to go. Thanks for giving me all these recommendations, though. It really helped ease me back into the literary world. Vocal cords are killing me, that's why I'm ending this after this day as well. Well, if you count the children's books I read as a kid part of the literary world.
Of course, Code, I'm always happy to share my love for literature with others.
I can practically hear the smile in her voice. You know, this is actually the first time today that I picked up my phone to use.
Do you call people often then?
Nah, I mean, I mostly use it to play games and read random posts online. Today's been really quiet for me though, in a good way. All I did was cook, read, and go for a walk. Oh, and talk to you.
That sounds like a lovely day, Code. Quite similar to mine, actually.
Seems like you're really rubbing off on me. We laugh together a bit at that. These gentle moments with Yuri, I wish they could last forever.
I hope that's a good thing.
Are you kidding me? Of course it is. My mom would kill for a daughter like you. I realized too late what I just implied. Good one, Code. Yuri's probably gonna hang up from embarrassment now with how shy she is. I mean, you definitely have better grades than me and stuff.
I'm sure you're simply doubting yourself. Anyway, it's getting a bit late now, so...
Yeah. Well, I'll talk to you later.
See you in school, Code.
See ya. Smooth, Code. Smooth. Well, this is it then. Let me just let the game load. There we go. Alright, so, as I've said, this is where I'm gonna end this stream. Again, sorry that my streams aren't as long as some other people's streams. I really am sorry about that. But frankly, I just don't have as much time as I would like to. And there's some other stuff I would like to do as well. You know, I can't spend all my free time streaming. As much as that would certainly be interesting in some ways, it would also be draining in others. So yeah, I do plan to, of course, make longer streams in the future when I actually have some more free time. But right now, you just gotta appreciate the fact that I do stream on a semi-regular basis. Now, as I've said before, whenever I upload a video to YouTube, be it a stream archive or a new video, I won't stream on that day. And if I do decide to stream on a day, naturally I won't be uploading anything over to YouTube. So sometimes, recently when I did the 4 streams back to back, that created a bit of a backlog of streams that had to be published over time. You know, a backlog of the stream archives. But I don't think people minded it all that much. But yeah, that's kind of a bit of my way of padding things out a bit. So that... Because that way I've kind of been able to keep up the daily content a bit. Even though the uploads of the stream archives and the actual streams themselves are, frankly speaking, the same content. Just on a different platform. And it's still, I feel like better than just having no stuff coming out on one day. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm doing things right now. I also have some plans for more reactions in the future. I had an interesting comment on my previous reaction, where I have to say this, on the internet you can't trust people claiming that they are who they claim to be. But frankly speaking, the person who commented on my previous reaction video, which was the Ota-chan video, seemed to be the animation director of the Ota-chan show, which I had no way to confirm that was actually the case. I just know that it was the same username as the person, and he was speaking as if he was working on the show, very clearly, in fact. And if that truly was the animation director, then I naturally appreciate that comment even more, which, can I just say this again, if that was, then I actually can't believe that actually happened. I'm just so amazed. But it's the internet, you can't trust everything. I had no way to verify if that was actually him. So I'll take that comment with a grain of salt, as it is. Just felt like it was worth mentioning. But yeah, as I said, this is pretty much where I'm ending the stream. I want to thank everyone for watching me, and yeah, I'm glad that today's stream was actually a success. An active chat, even a new follower. Today's stream, I feel like, went great. I hope you thought so as well. We also made a lot of progress in the game, finally being officially, you know, together with Yuri. Certainly a lot of stuff being done today. But yeah, I should really wrap this up now. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time then. Bye!